Namaste, ma'am.
Hi, hi Sujit, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, I'm good. Chale, let's wait for 2-3 more minutes, waiting
Yeah,
for everyone to join. Okay.
sure. Um, एक चीज पूछनी थी।
बिल्कुल।
जैसे कोर्स हमारा ये हो जाएगा, उसके बाद लास्ट में असेसमेंट होता है। तो असेसमेंट में जैसे जो भी फिलोसफी से रिलेटेड प्राणायाम, जो भी थ्योरी हमें पढ़ाई जा रही है, इससे रिलेटेड उसमें क्वेश्चंस आते होंगे।
So, you're enrolled for the online course, है ना?
यस, 200 आवर्स।
हाँ, तो ऑनलाइन में आपका थ्योरी का पेपर होगा, लाइक थ्योरी का जो एक सेट ऑफ क्वेश्चंस होंगे वो आपको मिलेंगे. Okay,
ओके,
you have to answer those and then email it to us, after which you'll have your practical exam. Okay,
ओके,
so but apart from that, because we are going with live classes also, maybe we'll have some activities in the end for you guys, like course related only.
तो जैसे कि जो हम नोट्स बना रहे हैं आपके सेशंस के थ्रू, उसमें ही वो कवर हो जाए।
हाँ, उसमें ये आपका थ्योरी का क्वेश्चन पेपर तो उसी में कवर हो जाएगा. ओके, एंड अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट इफ यू हैव सम मोर एक्टिविटीज तो फिर जनरली लाइक वी let students choose any topic and then they present. So one activity might be this, like at the end this might be coming up, but abhi.
एक्टिविटी एक्टिविटी योगा फिलॉसफी में एक्टिविटी मींस क्या, प्रेजेंटेशन काइंड ऑफ होगा, बताना होगा?
That is a possibility. Let's see when we come towards the end, like how much time we have. All of those are like factors we'll take into consideration. तब देखते हैं. But generally, like for the online exam, you have a theory paper, and then you have a practical exam. So after you pass the theory, you go for the practical exam.
ठीक है,
हाँ.
थैंक यू।
चलिए, so we'll start the class. Namaste Jagriti ji, how are you?
Fine, thank you.
Okay, great. चलिए, back and neck straight. Close your eyes. And observe your breath. Allow your breath to calm down. And bring your mind to the present. And now begin to deepen your breath. Long, slow, and deep inhalations. Long, slow, and deep exhalations. Making sure that your spine is straight. Forehead, neck, and shoulders are relaxed. We will chant Om 3 times, followed by 3 Shantis. Inhale deeply for Om. Shanti. 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 Relax. Bring both your palms in front of your chest, join your hands. And now rub both the palms together. Place them over the eyes. Slowly, while blinking and looking at your palms, open up your eyes and come back with a smile. And namaste to everyone. Okay. So we'll begin today's session. So today we are going to play something like Atlas, but first thing that we are going to do is like food that you can think of. Okay, so everybody will just unmute themselves and just like we'll start the game. Okay, so like in food I would go for chips. So now it's ending with S, so who's going next? You have to name a food item which starts with S because I said
It
chips.
starts with S. Okay.
Yes.
Sweet.
Sweet. Okay. Tea. Who is going next? We'll go in this order only then.
Sharbat.
She said sweet, so sweet.
Tea should start.
Sharbat.
Tea. Now you have to say something with tea.
T से बोलना है अभी. Okay.
Apple.
Starts from T.
Jagriti ji, you go next. Some food item which starts with T. Okay.
तिरंगी बर्फी.
Okay. Sujit, you go next.
Can we name vegetables as well? Food item only.
Yeah, food. Like beverages are also included. Everything is
Yeah.
included.
So I want to go with tomato.
Okay. Oh, Omkar ji.
Onion.
Okay. O and I N. Let me think of something with N. What starts?
Nut.
Oh, nuts. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Nuts. S. So Jayshree ji, you'll go with S now.
Soup.
Okay, we're going in the same order. So next Jayshree ji will go, like then Jagriti ji will go. Okay. So we have
Sugar cane. Thank you.
sugar cane.
No.
E.
E. Imarti.
Okay. Next Sujit.
Imli.
I. Omkar ji.
I.
Third time I.
Wow, this is a little bit difficult, but yeah. Think.
Ice gola.
I. Oh. A. Apple. E. Jayshree ji, you go with E.
Elaichi.
Interesting. Okay.
E again.
किसका टर्न था?
आपका जागृति आपका.
इलायची पेड़ा.
अच्छा. Oh, अरे, very nice. Okay. Sujit ji. Think.
Mango. Okay, sorry.
A से आया था ना तो आम बोला मैंने. M या माँ.
Okay. Omkar ji, you go next.
From M, right?
Yeah, M.
I said mango. Yeah.
Oh, omelette. Next, Jayashree ji, you're next.
T. Is it T or E?
T.
E.
T, yeah.
You said one.
She said T only for T.
T was done.
T was done. Okay. Yeah, there is no repetition. T was done already. Okay, Jayashree ji, you have to go again with the letter T.
Til ka laddu.
Arey, we are mixing Hindi and English both as per convenience. Okay, Jagruti ji.
Yeah, yeah. Laddu. You?
Yes.
You say.
यू नहीं तो ऊ भी हो सकता है ना हिंदी में.
हाँ, ऐसे सोच लो.
ऊ से सोच लीजिए.
ओके, चलिए. साउथ इंडियन में कोई डिश, साउथ इंडिया में कोई डिश है, चलिए बताइए. यू से शुरू होती है.
We have a dish in Orissa that is upma.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
A.
ए से फिर हो गए मेरे पास. अचार.
अचार. अरे नाइस. ओमकार जी.
रवा उपमा.
Oh, A again. Okay. Almond.
D. Jayashree.
D.
Drumstick.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
K. K.
K. K. Okay. Kaju barfi.
I.
आइसक्रीम.
मलाई कुल्फी.
I again. Kulfi. I.
ओमकार जी का ई से आएगा.
E से आएगा.
मलाई कुल्फी. P. I.
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 अच्छा. I से wait. Ice. E. Jayashree ji. Hello.
Yes, I'm thinking.
Okay.
क्या बोला?
I आया ना आपके ऊपर. Oh, sorry. E. Yeah. Ice. I said ice. Think.
No, I'm not getting anyone.
Anybody, any suggestions? E. I would go egg. Yeah. Egg.
Yes, egg.
G.
Ginger.
Oh yeah.
Ginger.
R. So Gigi, you go with R.
R. राजमा.
Oh, nice. Okay. A.
Apple pie.
Sorry.
Apple pie. Apple pie.
E. Okay. Eggplant.
Green rice.
Sorry?
Tamarind rice.
Tamarind rice. Yeah.
Jayashree ji, can you think of something from E?
No.
Okay. Sujit ji, E. This is our last round. So.
Thinking.
Idli.
No. Yeah.
That's I.
हिंदी में तो ई से ही होगा. अच्छा, इंग्लिश वाला लेटर ई लेना तो नहीं होगा.
हाँ, चलो ठीक है, इडली, okay. But it still ends in I. So. I say.
Ice halwa.
Ice halwa. Is that a thing?
बम्बई की बहुत फेमस आइटम है.
अरे, okay. New thing.
मैं पहली बार सुन रहा हूँ.
हाँ. Omkar ji, do you want to go next?
Halwa, right? A, right?
A.
Yes.
Almond kulfi.
Amchur.
Arey, nice.
रस.
Oh.
रस.
चलो ठीक है. So we'll end this. Okay. Think of more food items. We opened both channels, English and Hindi both. So variety बढ़ जानी चाहिए थी. But yeah. चले ठीक है. So first I will, when we start today's class, first thing that I want to know is Karma Yoga. Yesterday we were discussing that. So any doubts related to that? Because I know it's a pretty tricky or dicey like subject. Any questions so far?
Actually, yesterday, right, we already debated on this topic, right? Particularly happiness should be included in that. So actually, I thought upon this after the class also. So, like, I think even if we don't deliberately say this thing, but even until enlightenment, every yogi aims for this thing, happiness. Like if he's not getting, like if someone is helping someone, then he knows from inside that, like, that moment that not be very clear, but he knows from inside that after helping him, I'm ultimately going to get happiness. Like suppose the end goal is something different, like suppose after I'm drinking alcohol, so ultimately I know that after sometimes I'm going to hurt my body. So that is in although I'm getting happiness that time, but internally I know that I'm doing wrong thing. The same at the same time, when he's helping someone or he's doing yoga or he's doing meditation, maybe that's not directly clear that that point that he is doing for happiness, but ultimate aim for everyone, even we are doing yoga or enlightenment, everything is about happiness only. We are because everyone is suffering, that's why they are looking for a solution in yoga. So we can't directly say that we are not looking for happiness and a particular thing we are doing nishkam karma, but there is a hidden aim in everything. Like that's what I thought of, but I just wanted to know what your thought on this actually.
Okay, so this is the stage that when we talk of this stage, it's the bhogi stage. Okay, so it's not that, like I said yesterday also, nishkam karma will not come immediately to you. Like you will try to get there where you are releasing yourself from the expectations that you have. But
when yogis, like I can, like we can differentiate enlightened person, because enlightened person is like already happy and he's acting out of his happiness. So that is a different case. But even a yogi who is on a sattvic diet or doing every practices, I know he's kind of happy, but he want to continue his happiness. He don't want to break it. Otherwise, he can do anything else also, right? So ultimately, we can say that he is not opting that option and choosing this option, because he knows that there is suffering here and there is happiness here. So ultimately he's choosing between suffering and happiness anyways. So how we can say that yogi is also not choosing one thing?
He's trying to get free from both. So see, there is a duality, like life, most things in life have a duality. If there is happiness, there will be sorrow. Yeah. So when you choose happiness, you go into the bhogi stage. That is what I'm saying again. When you are choosing happiness and you are choosing your health and want to be happy and derive all the pleasures. So a yogi doesn't seek pleasure.
Yes, sir. That happiness we are building upon to Satchidan Anand, right? Like we are going towards that ultimate happiness, and because we are on this path, and we know that we want to get that ultimate happiness, that ever bliss happiness. So that is also, I mean, you can say like that is also right, that but there's a little bit confusion in this actually for me.
So for a bhogi, what happens is he realizes that there is a proper way of deriving happiness from this world. So he goes on that path. So the path is the same. Okay, when you start working on it, first your one station is the bhogi stage. When you are sick and tired of all of these things and you understand this is not permanent, then you go into the yogi or detached state. So for a yogi, their goal is not to attain happiness. Okay, their goal is to be free from all the dualities that exist, because they know that if they desire one, then the other is going to come.
If they get free from this duality, and I told them that you are getting free from this duality and you're going to heaven, where you are going to get all suffering, but so they will not go for it. So the one they want to get rid of everything, because they know after getting rid of everything there is something better awaiting for us. So
मैं वही कह रही हूँ, इस टाइम पे जब आप बात कर रहे हो तो आपके अंदर वो भाव आ रहा है इस चीज का, like there is this sentiment of getting rid of suffering and wanting happiness, but for a yogi they don't experience this. Okay, they just have their eye on the goal, and suffering comes to them also. A yogi who separates himself from the world, he doesn't even take transportation, he walks like barefoot. He has so many reasons to be sad about things, or see a lot of suffering in his life. When he leaves behind his life, he's leaving behind people that he loves. One can say he's leaving behind the life that he had always known. He doesn't know where his next meal is going to come from. So he is not going with that, like जो आप भाव बोल रहे हो ना, जो सेंटिमेंट ये है कि उसको सफरिंग से फ्री होना है, ये योगी में नहीं आता है. उसको बस ये दिखता है कि okay, there is suffering and that is the truth. He can see that it is the reality, and then he understands that there is a way of coming out of it. So once again, in Karma Yoga, you will have to go into Karma Yoga when you go into service. Like one of the ways of doing Karma Yoga is that you give selfless service. So when you go into service, then first you will give selfish service. You won't reach that stage where the service is selfless. Okay, when you start experiencing that and do more and more practice of karma yoga, that is when you will start understanding what that stage is, that stage of detachment is. Right now, because we see suffering in a particular manner and we want to like come out of it, so we see practices like yoga helping us, and it is right to walk on that path. But पहले रोगी से भोगी बनेंगे हम लोग. We will go into the bhogi stage. We cannot understand the yogi stage, not at least unless and until we reach that stage. What is the state of his mind? Why is he leaving everything? He is not looking for happiness over there. Yeah, he's trying to understand that all of this thing, like he gets this deep sense of realization that everything is changing. All of this around me is like not permanent, and it's a very intuitive realization. उससे वापसी नहीं होती है जनरली. जैसे अभी we want happiness, so हम क्या करेंगे, हम योगा पढ़ेंगे, हम थोड़ा सा योगा प्रैक्टिस करेंगे, फिर क्या होगा, थोड़े टाइम बाद हम लोग फिर से थोड़ा सा लेथार्जिक हो जाएंगे, फिर हम छोड़ देंगे. ठीक है, हमें पता है कि एक सॉल्यूशन है हमारे पास, And that is why sometimes we are not able to use that solution to our advantage, because we know that the solution is there, but वो इतनी strong इच्छा नहीं जगी है अभी अंदर से. जिस दिन वो जग जाएगी, उस दिन फिर ये सारी जो डुअलिटीज हैं या कॉन्सेप्ट्स है दिमाग में, वो सब फिनिश हो जाएगा और एक अल्टीमेट गोल पर आपका पॉइंट रहेगा. लाइक यू विल जस्ट फोकस ऑन दैट अल्टीमेट गोल, बिकॉज there is an intuitive realization that is something nobody can put into words. Yeah. Is it like as you progress on your yoga journey or go deeper into meditation, you will come to this point where even that detachment you will experience, where you are just like, now I'm not attached, it doesn't affect me so much. So first stage of a like first few like we can say qualities that develop in a Hatha yogi is also this, like one of this, that he becomes like unaffected by dualities. Yeah. So that starts happening on its own. You're not doing anything, you are just following what you are told, you're just sticking to your practice. But वो अंदर से ही आ जाना, there is sometimes something happens in our life and we just don't remain the same. Yeah, we start looking at life so differently. So वो आपने समझ लिया, जान लिया, जैसे कि बोलते हैं ना, जान लिया, उसको माना नहीं. We are not believing in it. Now we know what it is. Now we have experienced that emotion or that thing, and now we know that we won't do that thing again. तो वो वाला स्टेज आता है एक योगी का भी. तब उसका ये नहीं होता कि मैं ब्लिस को पाने के लिए जा रहा हूँ. तब उसका ये होता है, अरे इसकी इरेडिकेशन कैसे करी जाए, अब ये तो है और ब्लिस भी है, उसको फर्क नहीं पड़ता. तभी वैराग्य का जो भाव है बहुत स्ट्रांगली जगता है. तो उसको ये मैटर नहीं करता वो अपने गोल तक कब पहुंचेगा, है ना. उसको बस ये होता है कि एक गोल है और वहां तक पहुंचना है, अब उसके लिए काम करते जाओ. Okay, so I would highly like, as we are doing the schools of yoga, try to recognize which category you fall in and then go into that practice. When you experience that thing, that is when you get a better understanding of why certain things are being said. Okay.
आपने जो ये स्कूल ऑफ योगा बोला, तो आप थोड़ा और इसको एलाबोरेट करेंगे प्लीज.
So what was same was that everybody has a different way of reaching the final goal. Okay, so there were different techniques that were given, but the ultimate goal is the same. My starting point will be different, but the ultimate goal is the same. So on this basis, there were 4 major schools of yoga that came up, 4 major thought processes that came up. If I connect with my action a lot, I don't believe in anything, nor do I want to. Okay, I just know that there is like my action, and there I do have a sense of devotion in my action which develops eventually. But right now, if I just believe whatever I am doing, there is a result back. So that school of thought where you are integrating yoga into your action, day-to-day life, that is Karma Yoga. Then today we are going to discuss Bhakti Yoga. So that is the path of devotion. Now I know I'm a very emotional being. Okay, I connect with my emotions a lot. No logic, nothing makes sense to me. So that is when I'll go for Bhakti Yoga. My starting point will be different now from a Karma Yogi. Okay, and if I think that, okay, I like to intellectualize things and I like to understand them properly, then that person goes for what? Jnana Yoga. He wants to increase his understanding. Okay, so and then we come to Raj Yoga, where mind is given the most importance. Okay, so there the person is just like, okay, my mind has this ability to throw a light on a certain certain thing that I don't understand about myself. So if I concentrate all the like thoughts and all the energy of the mind, then I will be able to understand this aspect of myself. So that school is Raj Yoga. So all of these have a different like starting point, but the end goal is the same. Okay.
यदि इसमें कॉम्बिनेशन होगा तो मतलब कैसे होगा, रिजल्ट पे असर होगा?
There is always a combination. Like for our understanding, we divided the paths into like, wait, starting point, what my personality tells me more, I will start with that. But all paths merge into that only. Like when you are doing, like yesterday we talked of karma yoga, so bhakti was also a big part of it. Like when a karma yogi reaches an advanced stage, then there is bhakti also over there. There is gyan also, because he is now gaining an understanding of what is right action, what is wrong action. Yeah, he is working on all of these things. So all the paths merge eventually. ऐसा नहीं है कि one will remain separate from the other. Okay. So, any more doubts? No? Okay, just think on these things like after the class ends. So, it's harder to understand when you go with the mind. But when you go into the practice, then we understand better. जैसे body खुलनी शुरू होती है आसन में, जब हम आसन करने लगते हैं. Now today I will sit over here and tell you, okay, now Tadasana, you will stretch your hands forward, interlock your hands will go up. You have to stretch your spine should remain straight. You're understanding all of this as I'm saying it. But when you do that asana, you will see, okay, this is the impact I'm feeling on my spine. So it's the same with most of the things that we will discuss in philosophy. Okay, when you experience it, you'll understand it much better. Okay, so today we are going to discuss the second school of yoga, which is Bhakti Yoga, okay, or the path of devotion. Okay, so Bhakti Yoga is, you find that the foundation of Bhakti Yoga is emotion. Okay, when a person is very emotional, then they see that they cannot reason out things, nor can they feel very motivated to do something if they're not emotionally connected to it. So they use this strength, they see it as a strength, they use this strength to connect with the God that they choose. Okay, so what is happening over here? The emotion of love is very like prominent in Bhakti Yoga. Okay, if you develop love towards someone, then it becomes very easy for you to act in a particular way. Or maybe if I suppose I love my father a lot, okay, so now whatever he will say, because I love him so much, I would want to do those things for him. Yeah, and because I love him so much, then I will do those things without any expectation also. The main point is that the love has to be unconditional. Okay, one is that there is a feeling of love, so it drives you towards doing certain things. Then that love should also be unconditional. If suppose, same example, I love my father and I don't love him unconditionally, okay, I'm loving him conditionally, so when I do something, I will expect him to do what? Reward me for that, or appreciate me, or compliment me for that. But a bhakt goes without any of these. He knows that one thing is the faith is very strong, so he is choosing to believe in a power which is not physically present in front of him. Yeah, so already his faith is very strong in that. And second of all, he is doing for someone from which there is no return, so his love becomes unconditional. You must have seen a lot of people like wake up first thing in the morning and worship God. They do all of these things, so they're not expecting anything in return when they do that. They just do it because what they understand that their emotional part, like that emotion, is now connected somewhere and it calms down their mind. Okay, so it helps immensely to calm down your mind when you go into bhakti yoga. So on an initial level, for a beginner level, so he will try to do what? He will go into practices which we generally see these days, like going to the temple, all of these things. But a higher level bhakt knows that God exists in like everybody. So he treats everybody in that manner only. So that is the depth till which his bhakti goes. So first we will just write down the basic things of bhakti yoga. Wait, I'll share my screen. Yeah. Is my screen visible?
Yes.
Okay. Great. So it has been derived from the root word bhaj, which means to serve. Okay. And one of the major texts for bhakti yoga that you can find is Narada Bhakti Sutra. Okay, and one more thing was there, Bhagavad Gita, chapter 12. Okay. I'm unable to see it today. Okay, now I can see it. Okay, so it has been derived from the root word bhaj, which means to serve, and to serve how? Very lovingly. Okay, so once again, concepts like sacrifice and unconditional devotion, like the mind is totally absorbed in the god that you have chosen. That state, when all of your actions are like now being performed with that state of mind, that is a state of bhakti yoga. So one thing, same things are happening as in karma yoga also over here. You need to understand that. One thing is that when I devote my action to someone else, which is beyond me, and someone I consider superior to me, then I will not be attached to my own actions, okay, or the results of my own actions. So I am detaching from my actions, like the results of my actions, and I'm attaching myself. I cannot do anything with the attachment part. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm shifting the attachment part and shifting it to what? The God that I believe in. So I am committed. There is a sense of commitment to loving that God. Okay, so that is where that attachment is coming towards the God, and detachment is coming towards my own actions. Okay, and you will find deep an in-depth understanding of Bhakti Yoga and Narada Bhakti Sutra. There are only 84 sutras in this text, which has been divided in 5 chapters overall, and like an in-depth discussion is done on what is bhakti, what is a bhakt. All of these things have been discussed in depth by him. Okay, and when you go to Bhagavad Gita, you will still get to read about Bhakti Yoga in the 12th chapter. So in the 12th chapter, like when once again Arjun and Krishna are again and again discussing, he gives him a lot of ways in which he can finally go into war, like free himself mentally and go into war with his own family members. So then by the 12th chapter, he's just like, now you are getting too much, like, you're trying to look for a lot of explanations. So suspend all of this, okay, and just believe in me, devote yourself to me, devote all of your actions to me, and go into war. And according to Krishna, this is kind of one of the highest level of devotee. Like he considers this devotee to be very dear to him. Okay, a person who is able to forget everything, just devote himself or herself to him, and then perform all of the actions in life, is considered to be very superior. Okay, in Bhagavad Gita you will see that the bhakti has been divided into 2 parts. Okay, apara bhakti and Parabhakti. You will find a lot of divisions of bhakti in general, but in Bhagavad Gita, these are the two types which have been discussed, and we'll be talking like on these only. Okay, so apara bhakti is considered to be a lower form of bhakti. Okay, where initially when a beginner enters like bhakti yoga, then sometimes the sentiment is not that strong, or maybe I am very emotional, but then the God that I have chosen, because sometimes I cannot see him or I cannot understand that, so my emotion is not very, like I can say, very strong right now towards him. So what I'll do is I will go into general practices like satsang, kirtan, katha, jap, all of these things. I will go into the conventional ways in which we see bhakti yoga today, where we go to the temple, worship God. So this will help the bhakt to attach himself more to God, to gain a better understanding of God, who he is, and why he has to worship him. So when you go into jap also, then there's something that you start experiencing. When you go and sit, like there is puja is going on, maybe somewhere, and you go and sit there, your mind is really like haywire that day, and you just go and sit over there. There's a sense of calmness that you experience. Yes. So that is what the lower level of bhaktas, and he perfects himself into all of these practices. Okay, and when he does that, the mark of that is that he will naturally transcend into parabhakti, where now he sees God in everyone and everything around him. So this cannot be forced. Parabhakti cannot be forced, or apara is also not forced. He is choosing that himself. But parabhakti is a state of being itself. Okay, right now I was like trying to work on my emotion through certain actions. Yeah, but in parabhakti I will see God in everyone. So there would be a sense of, once again, selfless service over here, where when I'm interacting with someone, that person is also what? God in my eyes. So how I will interact with that person, deal with that person or thing or situation, will reflect in my behavior itself. Because now I have gained that understanding to such a deep level that I know that you are also God. Yeah, you are also a form in which God is manifesting. So I will act in that way only when I'm interacting. So once again, this is a part of experience. From para, when you perfect para, that is when you naturally go into when you perfect apara bhakti, then you naturally go into para bhakti. Yeah. Now the types of bhakts have also been discussed. Okay, so the first type of bhakt is arth bhakt. Then Jigyasu and Jnani. Arth, Artharthi, Jigyasu and Jnani. These are the four types of bhakts that are there. Yeah. Any doubt?
Second is Jigyasu, right?
It's Jigyasu, but in English it's written this way.
Okay, but
Yeah.
it will be pronounced Jigyasu.
So Arth Bhakt is who is that Bhakt? So somebody who is suffering, yeah, and finds no other way out. So he decides, okay, now I'll go for worship, or I'll go to God, yeah, and I will ask him to free me from all of my sufferings. So that kind of Bhakt is Arth Bhakt. As we progress in the types of bhakti also, you will see the difference in how maybe you start with arth initially, but then you go reach the point where you reach till the Jnani stage. Okay. Then Artharthi Bhakt comes in. Okay. Now he knows that everything is good. His health is good. He has no disease. Now, Arth came because there was a lot of disease also. There was a lot of suffering that he was seeing in his physical world. So Artharthi has all of those. He's stable in all of those aspects. But what he wants is he wants material gains. He wants to gain more wealth, fame in this world. So he goes to God and he prays for his betterment, yeah, in material aspects. So that type of bhakt is Artharthi Bhakt. Okay. He is also putting his faith in God. So the main thing is that there is a sense of faith when he goes to God with this. Had there been no sense of faith, then I would not have categorized in these, like he wouldn't fall in one of these categories. But there is a sense of faith when you are going to God. Okay. Then Jigyasu is someone who has like, okay, now he has his health also, he got a lot of wealth and fame also, but he is just like, okay, or maybe he didn't get that, but he is very curious to understand life. Why is all of this happening? And who am I? What is my purpose? All of these questions. He's very curious about life in general. And he is a very emotional being also. So he goes, like he will be categorized in a Jigyasu Bhakt, where he is going into Bhakti Yoga out of curiosity, out of a sense of curiosity. He doesn't care about all the other things. Maybe he has them, maybe he doesn't have them, but his sense of curiosity is very strong. Okay. And then we come to the fourth category, where there is a Jnani. He understands that God is in me, God is in everyone. And then he goes on the path of Bhakti Yoga, understanding that he is aiming for the final goal when it comes to Bhakti Yoga. He is not looking to get rid of any suffering. He is not looking to get any wealth, or there is no even no sense of curiosity in him. He has a very deep level of understanding that, okay, this is life and I have God, and God is in me, and now I need to reach my final goal. Okay. So he goes into Bhakti Yoga with this mindset. So from one, we also jump from one stage to the other. Okay. So sometimes we go to God because, we are suffering a lot, and we think that the only way out is by praying or worshipping him. So we go into that. Then Artharthi goes, sometimes when we go and we pray, we ask for more material wealth, yeah, all of these things. Sometimes we go out of curiosity, we don't understand why things are happening to us, so we are just like, ab kuch samajh nahi aa raha, we're not able to understand anything, so let's just go and pray. Wahan to pata hai ki there is some sort of like relief for me, yeah. Okay. And then the Jnani stage comes in, where eventually when you transcend all these three stages, then experientially you reach a point where you are just like, okay, now I understand that God is all around me, but how do I reach that stage where, how do I reach the qualities of God? Okay. So then he enters the Jnani stage. Okay. So these are the four types of bhakt that you will come across. Any questions so far? No? Okay. So let's end. Yeah.
Just this English spellings of the last two names are really confusing. Any
Yeah.
specific reason to write like this?
This is like in English, like this is how it is written. So generally the N also has like, this is like normal English that I have written in. If I would have written in Devanagari, maybe it would have been more clear. So Devanagari is a direct translation of Sanskrit language. So in N we would have had a like wave kind of this thing. So that is because of the sounds that are being like sound emphasis के basis पे होता है ये. तो
Okay,
they
but
are a little.
प्लेन इंग्लिश में अगर लिखे तो लास्ट जैसे ज्ञानी है तो GYANI आता है.
हाँ.
That's what I was
हाँ.
saying.
Yeah,
ऐसा
no,
क्यों
I
लिखा है?
understand this, but this is how like so it's like English में मतलब मैं वही कह रही हूँ, इट्स लाइक काइंड ऑफ अ ब्रिज बिटवीन बोथ इंग्लिश एंड देवनागरी. लाइक उसमें इस तरह से लिखा जाता है, बट वो प्रॉपरली अभी मेरे पास लाइक कीबोर्ड पे वो है नहीं, जिसमें एन इस तरह से लिखा जाएगा, जो साउंड रिप्रेजेंट कर रहा है.
ठीक है.
Okay, so we'll end today's session. Okay, so everyone back in next straight, just close your eyes and watch your breath. Allow all of this information to seep in. We'll chant Om one time, followed by 3 Shantis. Take one deep breath before that. Inhale deeply and exhale deeply. Inhale for Om. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Join both your palms together in front of your chest and just bow down. Remember any one incident from the past 24 hours that you're grateful for, and say a mental thank you. Now rub both your palms together. Place them over the eyes. Slowly, while blinking and looking at your palms, come back with a smile. And namaste to everyone. I will see all of you tomorrow. Last working day for you. Then you have Sunday off.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.